Welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your latest Manchester United news drop, as Manchester United could potentially make a double shock deal with Everton involving Branthwaite and CALVERT-LEWIN. CALVERT-LEWIN has refused to sign a new contract and will leave Everton this summer. Manchester United have been scouting him for the last few months. Is there a double deal there? We'll talk about that. Amrabat, the latest with him, and also an interesting angle on Lenny Yoro. But let's get into it. Hope you're all doing well this afternoon. Lots to get into. Lots of people saying they don't want CALVERT-LEWIN. Well, look. Hello. Look at the thumbnail. Don't do it. I don't want CALVERT-LEWIN. I don't want CALVERT-LEWIN. I don't want to be talking about CALVERT-LEWIN. But the story is that Man United are interested. And how does that work when you've got Xerxes and Rasmus? They seem to want an experienced striker as well. Tony's been mentioned. CALVERT-LEWIN's been mentioned. CALVERT-LEWIN has refused to sign a new contract with Everton. His contract is up next summer, and therefore Manchester United could well go in and get him for what they perceive to be a bargain homegrown player. We'll talk about that in a moment, but let's start off with Branthwaite. I want to get a little bit of a poll running here on Branthwaite. Would you bid again on Branthwaite? Yes or no? Forget the price. Just would you put another bid in? And that bid could be stupid bid of 60 million, or it could be just another 5, go to 50 and then leave. So would you put one more bid in for Branthwaite, yes or no? Man United at the moment, there was talk last night, I think the Times put it out last night, that Man United would put a third bid in. Apparently that's not definite. They are considering their options. Discussions are ongoing. Remember, there was a massive gap between the first bid and the second bid for Branthwaite. I think it was about 3 weeks. So there is a chance that United might take a bit of time on this, but they're not going to go back in with that third bid straight away, and internal discussions are taking place about how they do it. Now, interestingly, if they did decide to push forward on CALVERT-LEWIN, they could put an offer in of about 70 million for the pair, which, you know, figure out how that works, considering CALVERT-LEWIN's got 1 year left on his deal. But for me, that would be a big fat no. Yeah, I just think that we'd be laughed at. We would be laughed at. Like Vihenham says, CALVERT-LEWIN makes no sense with Xerxes and Highlands. Well, it doesn't not make sense. I mean, if you said to me we're signing Ivan Toney, Xerxes, and we've got Highlands, I would be very surprised, but I wouldn't say no. I think having lots of options is never a bad thing. You can have too many options, but the problem with United over the last while is we've had too few an option. So I'm not massively bothered if we did go for Ivan Toney or something like that. But I think with CALVERT-LEWIN, it's a bit like the Chilwell story. I mean, all right, he's homegrown, but he may as well be a bloody carrot. May as well grow some carrots in the garden rather than get Chilwell or CALVERT-LEWIN, because they'll be more useful. Like, because they're going to spend most of their time injured. So I don't want to say it's not going to happen, because the CALVERT-LEWIN scouting is legit. Like, there's no doubt about that. But he is not signing a new contract at Everton. He has only got a year left on his contract, and Everton are going to have to cash in to some sort of value. And Man United might see a real bargain there. I don't see how he fits in at Manchester United. I really don't. I don't think he's displayed anything in his career yet that he can handle the top level of football. I mentioned this yesterday. I saw him playing against Man City last season, and the whole team played well apart from him when they really needed a shift from him. I don't think he's a player that can mix it up against the top six. I don't think he is. So I don't know why would you do a deal like that for what is effectively going to be a bench player who could be injury prone and hasn't really gone to the next level. So I don't really understand why Man United would be looking at that, but we are certainly scouting him. But look, I suppose all I can say is don't do it. For me, it's a no. It's a no. Interestingly, on the poll, would you bid for Branthwaite again? 62% of you are saying no. I don't really understand why. I think I need a little bit more than that. Why is it a no? Why would you not bid again? Whether you're watching live or not, get in the comments. Let me know why you wouldn't bid on Branthwaite again. Considering this is a left-footed centre-back who is 22, who is a player that Erik ten Hag and Ineos want, comprehensively scouted player. Why would you not bid again? I agree about there has to be a limit on price and Everton cannot take the piss. But if we bid 50 million quid and get the deal done with add-ons, it's only 5 more million than we've offered. I'm happy to do that. You know, I'm happy to offer 50 and plus add-ons and then walk if not. But what I wouldn't do is go beyond that. I've always said 50 plus 10 anyway, which some would say is a bit expensive, and it is. But I think Premier League proven, British centre-back, yeah, you're going to play a bit of a premium. 50 plus 10, I'd be happy to do. I wouldn't be going anything above 50. I think if we pay anything above 50, we've lost. I know there's got to be add-ons on there, but I think if we go anything above 50, we've lost, and we're not really learning from the past, considering his wage is meant to be 160 grand, which is quite a lot as well. So I think anything above 50 and you start to lose the conversation. One more bid for Branthwaite for me, says Drayson, 50 million plus add-ons. Well, hey, high five, mate. I completely agree. XO says that Everton themselves stated that Branthwaite is similar in play style to Maguire. We could just do a swap deal. Yeah, that's not a good way to sell your player, is it? Have they really admitted that? We need to let teams know we are the new United, says the Irish legend. And Delicate Official says, I would actually trigger Inacho's release clause and stay away from Calvert-Lewin. Up your arse, toffees, says Delicate Official. And yeah, we've done that from V as well. Wouldn't bid on Branthwaite, says Michael, because a 50 million package is fair and they dismissed it out of hand. They're clearly not willing to negotiate. And I agree with you on that. That's my concern. And I think this is why the internal discussions are going on. Reading between the lines, United are, well, not reading between the lines, the latest is that Man United are holding internal discussions about whether to bid again for Branthwaite. But I think in those internal discussions, somebody in that boardroom is going to be saying, we offered 45 plus 5, it's fine to reject it, but they rejected it instantly as, you know, offensive. If we offer 50, they're going to reject it, and we're not going to go above 50. So maybe we do just walk away, because and I agree with what was said there. You know, I think that is true. 45 plus 5 maybe was slightly low, but they dismissed it as, you know, nothing what they want. So if 50 is going to be our top bid, I would hate for Everton if we offer 50 plus 10. If Everton went, you're getting closer, but it's still a no. Because then you might be tempted to go in again. As I said, I think we can draw a line under this, unless anybody thinks anything different. If you want to offer 50 plus 10 and see what happens, fine, but that's got to be it. Anything above that, and I think Everton have had your pants down. Honestly, I really do. Bid 45 plus 5, easy add-ons plus 20, hard add-ons, says David. EJ says, not comfortable with having a third choice striker on 160k a week. A good point, EJ. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, so that's where we are. There was an expectation last night that a third bid would go in from Man United. Apparently today, internal discussions on whether to do it. My inclination is that they will bid again. That's just my feeling. And the reason I think we will bid again is because this is a player that Man United really want. And I think Ineos, under this new regime of backing the manager with a structure, I think they want to deliver plan A. And I think Branthwaite is a player that... I think Branthwaite, from what I've heard and from what I'm reading, I think it's very clear, and I don't know whether you'd agree with me on this, but I'm trying to explain it in the best possible way, which is not my opinion. I think assessing the situation, it's very clear to me that Jarrad Branthwaite is a high priority want from Manchester United. And I know by saying that, I'm empowering Everton, because they'll feel very empowered if we really, really, really want him. But I get the feeling that Branthwaite represents a lot of what Manchester United want. They want, you know, a Premier League proven British player who is homegrown, who is left-footed, who is a centre-back, who can be part of our project for the next few years. And I think that is why they won't drop this deal. But it's a learning curve for them as well. You know, we can sit here as experienced Man United fans with no responsibility. It's very easy to say walk when ultimately the only walk you're going to do is to the kitchen to make yourself a cup of tea in 10 minutes. Like, this is actual reality. If you're Sir Jim Radcliffe or you're Sir David Brailsford or you're Barada or you're Ashworth, you know, you say walk and you walk. You walk away and you don't come back. And I think that when it's a high priority player that you really, really want, and you really feel that he's going to make a big difference to your project, then it's not so easy to walk away. And of course, we're banking checks that haven't been written. There's a lot of positivity at the moment, and I feed that positivity around, isn't it great that we're working on multiple transfers? Isn't it great that we're getting a lot done? But bottom line, we haven't done anything yet. And bottom line is, you can do a lot, but it can still all be shit. So we mustn't run away with ourselves in excitement and confuse excitement with competence. Like, it doesn't mean just because we're doing a lot that Xerxes and Agate and De Ligt and Branthwaite and Yoro, all 5 could be terrible signings. They could be brilliant. They could be terrible. And we've done this before. I remember Ed Woodward used to get the piss ripped out of him for like 11 and a half months of the year. And then he'd sign a player and that gif would come out where somebody'd stuck his head on a Photoshop and it'd be like walking in like a boss Woodward. We all know what happens when we sign a player. We start living up the arse of whoever's in charge. And, what if Ineos do decide Branthwaite's the player they want and we're going to get him, and then they get him and he's a flop, and then they're going to look idiots? And maybe that's a lesson they need to learn. We're all sat there saying they need to walk away. Everton are starting to take the piss. What if they don't walk away? What if they really value the player and they do the deal and they overpay and he flops? And that's the danger that Ineos have got. They're human beings. So Jim managed and ran Nice. It's not a great success story. Like, their football blueprint isn't that great. Dan Ashworth at Newcastle, reasonably well. Barada at Man City wasn't a CEO. Jason Wilcox has worked at Southampton and is a youth team person at Man City. It looks like a good team, but it's got to walk the walk, and they might make some mistakes. So I think the Branthwaite deal is really, really compelling, because are they going to walk, or are they just going to keep hanging around saying, we might walk, but there's another 5, and eventually... What are Everton doing in this situation? Are Everton sat there going, they're not walking away? They're pretending they're going to walk away, but they're not going to walk away. They'll be back again in a week with another 5 million. And once we get it up as high as we need, we've got them. And, Everton might be thinking 55 million plus 10 in add-ons is what we want. Let's keep pushing. I mean, they might genuinely want 70, in which case I don't think the deal ever gets done. But Everton might be thinking, player wants to go. That money would be nice. If we can get 55 reluctantly, but deep down we want it, we've won. Branthwaite is like Rasmus, had one breakout season, a little overvalued, but we are investing in potential and be sold in 3 years if he doesn't work, says Rahul. Corsac says, I think the Lenny bid will work against us for Branthwaite negotiations. Everton will see that Yoro may prefer Madrid and hence hold on to a high valuation for Branthwaite. And hi Mark, what happened to the Todibo legal case? Says Novi, nothing has developed on that, which is a bit disappointing, especially when the report named a particular lawyer that was going to work for us, but there's no developments on that. The Irish legend says, I've got a weird feeling Yoro will say yes to us. Well, that's what happens when you make a bid for a player that's going to Real Madrid and no decision's been made. I still think he'll go to Real Madrid. But, I'd be pleasantly surprised if he didn't. What's up, Mark? What's up, Mark? Says Curtis. Today is my birthday and the United Stand community is the best in the world. Virtual fist pump. There we go, by the way, Curtis. Actually, can I just share a story? Because we're going to get a signed book out to this person. I mean, whether that's a present or not, hopefully it is. But we got a message that came through over the weekend from someone called Natch, who said, I hope this reaches you well, Mark. I'm a 22-year-old from Australia, and I suspect I have some lingering mental health issues from my childhood. I find great comfort in your videos as it feels like I'm having a good conversation, albeit one-sided, but I don't feel alone in my own head for once. I just wanted to say thank you for being there when I needed it the most. Kind regards, Nick. And I just thought, you know what? We get so many messages and things like that. And I hope you are watching, Nick, because your message was really, one that we it came into our general email address. I think it's for like the website or something, actually. And I think it really resonates because I think that's exactly what it is, isn't it? You know, it is a community where you feel part of it, and it does people a lot of good. And I don't think people talk about that enough. We've been doing this for nearly 10 years, and those types of messages are so important. So, you know, although we're reading that out for Nick, I think it resonates with absolutely everybody, myself included, that, you know, this escapism that we have for half an hour every time we stream is just so important and makes you feel part of something. So thank you very much for that. And of course, a big happy birthday to Curtis, who reminded me of that. So virtual fist pump to you, Curtis, legend. Dave Shine says, no word of other clubs stealing Branthwaite deal. Market doesn't see the value, even at United winning the transfer at under £50 million, says Dave. Martinez would be first choice. 50 million for a backup is too much, says Barrel Shark. And Sean says multiple reasons: wages, other cheaper centre backs, and we need other areas. That's why I wouldn't bid again for Branthwaite. A reason I feel they may not be touched: development of youth such as Kambwala as well, says Sean. Have to go in again. Yoro doesn't look realistic, says Jehan. And Dave says, we've done that one, of course, with that easy add-ons. We've done that from Korshik. I'm going to talk to you about Yoro and Amrabat in a moment, actually. Welcome to Members Club, Justin. Hope you're doing very well. Jack says, no more bids. Make a statement. We will not be bullied. No more bids. Make a statement. We will not be bullied. He said that twice. It's like you should be a politician. No more bids. Make a statement. We will not be bullied. No more bids. Too bigger wages. Too big a fee. Learn. UKG, welcome to the Members Club, legend. Thanks for getting your badge in. And Alex, he says, I'd rather spend 50 million elsewhere in the team rather than on a Martinez understudy. Well, 64% of you wouldn't bid on Branthwaite again. I think we will. The discussions are apparently going on now as to whether we will do it. I think we will do it again. But if we were, I would just say to Everton, literally £50 million plus 10, final offer, and we're walking. That I literally would do that, and I genuinely would not contemplate going back in again. That's what I would do. But a lot of people are saying no more bids at all. We're going to talk about Yoro now, but Gary Stewart's done a super chat. He says, hi Mark, Jared is a family friend. We live in... Whoa, is this going to be true then? Hi Mark, Jared is a family friend. We live in the same town and his family says he's desperate to come to United, but Everton won't sell for less because they know he'll get more England caps and his price will shoot up. It's interesting, Gary. I mean, I don't know you from Adam. I don't know whether you do know Jared Branthwaite or not, but look, I'm sure he wants... I'm encouraged that he wants to come to Man United. I personally would love him to come to Man United. I think he's a good player. The only thing I would say about that is that Everton are already trying to sell him as an England centre-back that's got England caps. Like, when you charge £60 million for a centre-back who is English, he's already an England centre-back. So the price they're asking for, you know, you can't... You can ask what you want, but you can't sell an England international who's not an England international. And if he stays at Everton... Is he an England international next season? Well, Harry Maguire might move and play first team football and win his place back. Guehi has done really well. Konsa's doing really well. John Stones ain't going anywhere. So Branthwaite might not be an England international next season if he stays at Everton. If he goes to Man United, I think he's an England international. So for him to be an England international, I think he's got to play for Manchester United. So I don't think it's fair that Everton want a price that's befitting of an England international when if he stays at Everton he may not be that England international. But look, Everton will say, well, you know, he'll become one if he signs for you. Well, is that not our doing and not yours? You know, you can play this game all the time. Todibo and Yoro both look complicated, which is why we should bid again for Branthwaite, says Savage, which is complicated in my opinion. UKG Chris says, is Branthwaite even any good? And do you do help a lot of people through a lot of stuff. Thanks, Chris. And I think he's a good player. I do like him. David said, I thought Barada was Man City's CEO. No, he wasn't. He was the one below that. He was CCO, which is just below, which is why he come to us. Curtis Russell, latest member of the channel as well. Happy birthday, Curtis. Hope you're doing well. Right, let's talk about Yoro. I've got a story on Amrabat as well that's coming out of Fiorentina. So we'll do Yoro in a minute, actually. Let's do Amrabat. So reports from Italy, Fiorentina press are saying that with regards to Amrabat, I don't know whether they're back COO is what he was at Man City, not CCO or CEO. He was CEO, Chief Operating Officer, whereas the CEO is one above, which is why he came to Man United, because it was a promotion. Latest update from Fiorentina that is Amrabat is still waiting on Manchester United. We heard this a couple of days ago that he's not made any decision on his future yet. Fiorentina want to move him on, but he's still waiting on Manchester United, and that's the latest from today, which, I mean, look, I think there's a clear message there. He really desperately wants Manchester United, and that, you know, is clearly the... Sorry, I've got to read this message from Judd. So Judd's come out with a right cracker here. Don't think I haven't seen it, Judd. Sit down. You're about to get sat down. So Judd says, "What the hell is Goldbridge talking about?" Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. I mean, who uses emojis in a YouTube chat for a start? Come on, Judd. You've lost already. It's not 1993. Anyway, what the hell is Goldbridge talking about? Branthwaite just put together a season of great football. He was in England's squad already. One more great season and he's worth 80 easily. Mate, I don't know what game of FIFA career mode you've been playing, but if you think Branthwaite's just put together a season of great football and he was in the England squad, you're playing on your bloody PS5, mate. The Euros are on tonight. England are playing a game. Jared Branthwaite's in bloody Mykonos. He ain't in bloody Germany. And as for a great season... What great season was that then? The one where you were fighting relegation with the points deduction. Branthwaite's a good player, mate, but stop trying to pretend he's John Stones. There is a lot of work that needs to be done with Branthwaite, and it won't be done with Dyche ball. He needs to play under a proper coach who plays proper football at a big club where, you know, he's playing in Europe week in, week out. At Everton, they've done a great job of, you know, bringing through some talent, and if they want to cash in and have £70 million, then can they please present to us England's starting left-sided centre-back who, you know, is deserving of a £75 million transfer fee? And that's all we're saying. If you think he is, and you want to make up FIFA career mode stats, that's up to you. Will he be a £70 million centre-back? Well, surely we get to do that. Why should we pay you £70 million on potential when we're going to be the ones that have to make him a £70 million centre-back? He's a £50 million centre-back. He's had a good season in the Premier League. He's not in the England squad. And he's got loads and loads of potential. And he's a good player. Why should Man United or any other club pay you in advance for the work we're going to have to do? We're going to have to make him go to that next level with proper coaching in a proper style of football that he'll never get with Sean Dyche. We're going to have to get him into a team that's going to get him into an England squad starting place. That's not me being disrespectful to Dyche or Everton, but, you know, there are levels to this game and we shouldn't have to pay the price for a player that's not there yet. That's our argument. Your argument is he's going to get there or he is already there. But why should we pay? What are we paying for if we're paying for what he's going to be worth? Because then we make no value on him if we decide to sell him as well. Mark, do you think the Glazers' ultimate plan is for Sir Jim buy into Man United and use Ineos to return us to a highly successful club again, then sell us, Mark, to Qatar for a much higher price? No, I think I'd be a liar if I thought that, Mark. I think it's a vanity project for Sir Jim Ratcliffe. You know, I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants a football club and Manchester United is the club that he supports. I don't think he sees it as, you know, obviously I think there's a lot of business stuff for him to do, but I think he wants to, you know, make it. I think he wants to be the guy that takes Man United back to the top. I think he wants to sit there with Sir Alex Ferguson and be like, you know, look at what I've done. I think it is a vanity project. There's nothing wrong with that. It'd be like you buying Man United and wanting to take it back to the top. Florian says, I would take Iheanacho over Branthwaite. Left-footed, 60 million release clause, far more comfortable with the ball. Yoro seems unrealistic. Well, I'm going to talk about Yoro now. As I said, with Amrabat, he's still waiting on Manchester United, which I think is a little bit sad. I think if you're waiting on Man United, the message might be clear. And I don't think it's a good idea that he's waiting for Man United. And I don't think it's a good idea that Man United actually go for him. Because the fact that we're waiting probably isn't a good idea on that. Let's talk about Lenny Yoro. Irv says, Ineos have done nothing with so many people coming in. Gill got Everett and Vidic done in January window without all the hoo-ha. That's being effective. So there you go. Irv thinks that they're not doing itself. A lot of people saying taxi for Judd. Where is Judd? He's probably back on his career mode, screenshotting the stats of, you know, how many goals Branthwaite scored for England on his career mode and how many caps he's got. Mark, personally, I hope we don't sign Branthwaite, not because I don't rate him, but too many people are hoping we sign him so he can flop like Maguire, says Matt. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're Jared Branthwaite and you want to come to Manchester United, I don't think you want to be coming in with a 70 million price tag. It puts a lot of pressure on him. But look, he feeds into Yoro. I saw something today. I think it was a journalist in the Manchester Evening News, but it wasn't, you know who. It was, I can't remember who it was, but basically what they were saying is one interesting angle, and I thought it'd be good to bring into the show latterly, because where we are with Yoro is where we were this morning. Man United want a quick decision. Are you going to wait for Madrid or are you going to come to Man United? But it was an interesting opinion piece. And look, we all love it when Fabrizio or David Ornstein drop a bit of credible news, but I actually do. Obviously, we've built a community of it. I really do enjoy when you get a bit of news, a bit of opinion. We've just been talking about the Branthwaite thing and whether they should bid or not. I think in relation to Yoro, this was quite interesting because what it was basically saying in this opinion piece is, and I'd love to get your thoughts in it in the comments, is would you say to Yoro to try and get him, if you come to Manchester United, you're our starting right-sided centre-back with Martinez? Would you go that far? Would you say, if you choose Man United, you're our starting right-sided centre-back? And the reason you do that is because Real Madrid he wants to go to. Real Madrid want him. Can Real Madrid say to him, you're going to start every single game? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. What can Man United offer him? And this is what it comes down to. What can Man United offer Lenny Yoro that Real Madrid can't? Wages, Real Madrid can match. Signing on fee, Real Madrid can match. So the only thing you've really got, I mean, weather, better. Champions League football, better. Not us, I'm not talking about Manchester. So Real Madrid, and they're Real Madrid, champions of Europe. They're going to win the league. Man United is, for many reasons, in the shade of Real Madrid. What can we offer that's different? And I think it's an interesting opinion piece because I think it's true. If you want to offer something a little bit different, then you probably got to say to Yoro, if you choose Man United, you will start as our right-sided centre-back at 18 and you'll be first choice. You know, when you're playing FIFA like Judd and you buy a player and you can have squad player, development player, first team starter, maybe that's what Man United might try, because I can't see what else we can do to make that deal happen. But there's a kick side to that. There's a kick side to that. And I want to run a poll on this. So 64% of you wouldn't bid on Branthwaite again. I don't get it. I don't get it. Look, we've had a long chat about that, but I don't really get the dislike. I think a lot of people are believing that he is like Maguire and he's different. De Ligt or Yoro? Get in the chat. This is probably the best poll we're going to do all day. So this is interesting. Imagine Man United say to Yoro, come to Manchester United, you will be our starting centre-back from day one. No pissing about, no development. You're straight in as our starting centre-back. And Yoro says yes. We beat Real Madrid. What happens with De Ligt? De Ligt's not going to come to Man United and sit on the bench. So what happens there? What happens there? Would you take Yoro at 18 over De Ligt if that's the only way we can get Yoro? Would you do it? Does it worry you that even if Yoro is convinced to join, it could be like Di Maria or Sanchez of the past because he doesn't really want us? Good point, Tom. Mark, personally, I hope we don't sign Branthwaite. Oh, no, we've done that from Matt. Thank you very much. Look, for me, and I know I'm going to be controversial here because you get people like Rio telling us all about Yoro when he's probably watched him twice. I think De Ligt's the right signing for where we are at the moment. And I know that's probably... I'm not even looking at the poll. I would go with De Ligt over Yoro. And the reason I would do that is because Varane's gone. We need some leadership. We need some experience. And De Ligt is a risk, but he is a player that's played and won with Ajax. He's played and won with Juventus. He's played and won with Bayern Munich. And he comes into that team with a lot of experience straight away. Whereas Yoro comes in, and we're going to be in that position where unless he hits the ground running at 18, he's going to make mistakes, and we're going to go, well, he's going to make mistakes. I know he's cost us a goal there, but he's going to make mistakes because he's only 18, which is fine if you're a team like Brighton. But for Man United, Yoro makes a mistake and we lose a game. Those prats are there going, sack Ten Hag. I don't feel that next season's the season where you can start carrying a couple of teenagers and losing games because you're a work in progress. Those toxic elements aren't going to be quiet. They're waiting for us to lose to Fulham. So for me, I think the experience is more important. I think De Ligt over Yoro is I don't think you can say to Yoro you're our starting right centre back and then not sign De Ligt or put De Ligt as third choice. Well, actually, if you say to Yoro your first choice centre back, I don't think De Ligt will come. So I sort of answered my own question there. I think De Ligt has to be more of a priority over Yoro because we desperately need somebody to replace Varane, and we know it can't be Lindelof and Maguire because they've had their chance. So I would like us to sign Yoro, but I wouldn't do it by offering him the first team spot. That has to be De Ligt and Martinez, in my opinion. Branthwaite and Yoro have got to come and develop, not come and start. Xerxes update, gone quiet. I thought we would have had a here we go for at least Xerxes these past couple of days, says Luke. No, as I said this morning, Luke, I think that those here we goes are going to be a little bit delayed because of the Netherlands playing tonight. If England do their job tonight, then I think we will have here we go on De Ligt and Xerxes by Saturday because the Netherlands will be out. So yeah, I think we were never going to get here we go today. Certainly not. The closer we get to England, Netherlands, the further we get away from here we go. But I think tomorrow that can happen. Has Beth left? Says Riaza. Yeah, Beth's left. She's gone to join. Where's she gone? She has gone to join the circus as a presenter there. No, she's been on holiday. Beth's back tomorrow. You got to have a holiday, you know. You got to look after your team. Loads of people involved with the United Stand have had holidays recently. It's only because Beth's in front of the camera. Your videos make my day. From Singapore, Mark says Brian Kumar. Thank you very much, mate. Hope you're doing well. And Luke says, Xerxes, you've done that one. Mark, do you think there'll be more January signings? Cameron, you know it's July. I'm going to take it that you mean, do you think we'll do any January signings? Look, we've ignored January for the last 2 years. Surely we have to start using it. But we'll know in January. I'd rather get July and August sorted first. Thank you very much for that. Great stuff. And Mahid says De Ligt is still very young considering he is centre-back and he's also evidently captain material during his time under Ten Hag. Yoro to United in 2035. Thanks, mate. Well, look, let's see what happens. Don't forget to join me on That's Football tonight for England against the Netherlands. Obviously, there's a United interest with Mainu starting. I think Luke Shaw's on the bench. With regards to United Stand, I might do a show at 7 o'clock, but if not, we'll do one a little bit later. Might be better to do it a little bit later because I'll have had a few. But yeah, very, very excited for England tonight. And I think one way or another, I think England will win tonight. And I think that will be beneficial for us because then we can get these couple of Dutch players into Manchester United without a shadow of a doubt. But for me, an absolute no on Calvert-Lewin. Don't do it. Just, I'm always willing to give everybody a chance, but I think Calvert-Lewin just comes with a big red flag. Branthwaite, I would bid again on. I would. Amrabat, I think we need to leave that. As for De Ligt or Yoro, 68% of you want De Ligt over Yoro, which I think is surprisingly, I thought it might be the other way. So, fair play on that one. the reason we did that poll is because if you're offering Yoro a first team place to get him to come, I think that's a mistake. I would rather delete. That's what I'm saying. I want Yoro, but I wouldn't lure him by saying you're our starting centre-back. I think that's a very big ask to throw an 18-year-old as your starting centre-back at Manchester United. I think he has to come in and buy into the project as a developmental centre-back. De Ligt, for me, has to be the starter. I think we're replacing Varane. That's what we need to do. Austin says, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we can play 3 at the back, just like Pep, even more so with the arrival of Xerxes. Look, Austin, who knows whether we'll play 3 at the back? Maybe we will. I don't know. But if we're not, and we're playing 2 centre-backs, then for me, I'd like to see De Ligt and Martinez. I really would. But look, we had a major injury crisis last year, didn't we? You don't always get to pick your best centre-backs. Take care, everyone. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. I'll speak to you on the next one. How have we done 40 minutes? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Speak to you in a bit.